Let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're taking one of the most famous texts in human history, the Genesis creation narrative, and looking at it through a completely different lens. We're going to view it as an incredible piece of divine architecture. Think of it as the ultimate construction project, taking absolute swirling chaos and systematically building profound order. Let's take a look at the original site.
So, to really appreciate any massive construction project, you kind of have to see the before picture, right? The text describes an earth that was without form and void, with darkness over the face of the deep. It's an absolute mess. We're talking about a chaotic, formless emptiness, completely submerged in dark water. It isn't just an empty room waiting for furniture. It's a state of active, turbulent non-order. That's the ultimate problem the creator is about to systematically solve. Now, before we look at what actually gets built, let's talk about the builder's method. There's a brilliant, repeating blueprint here. For almost every stage of construction across these first 3 days, a highly specific three-step sequence happens. First, God speaks, issuing a direct command. Second, God separates elements, literally tearing apart that chaotic mixture to create distinct boundaries. And finally, God names those separated elements, locking in their purpose within the new system. It's just a highly logical way to organize a universe.
Okay, let's move to phase 1 of construction, day 1. God tackles that overwhelming, overbearing darkness we talked about. Now, you might be thinking, hey, step 1 of building a universe has to be physical matter, like dirt or rocks, right? But no, the architecture here is way more fundamental. The very first building block required to organize chaos isn't physical at all. It's entirely conceptual.
And here is the blueprint in action. Step 1, God speaks. Let there be light. And boom, there's light, and it is good. But here's the thing. Just flipping on a light switch in a dark, messy room doesn't magically clean the room up. Now you just have light and darkness existing together in the same chaotic space. To actually build a functioning system, the creator has to start the critical work of dividing things up.
This is where it gets really fascinating. God isn't just making light. He's intentionally dividing it from the darkness. He separates them and then hits step 3 of the blueprint, naming them day and night. By doing this, God is effectively constructing the concept of time itself. The text concludes the first day by noting there was evening and there was morning. Through that alternating rhythm of light and dark, time is officially structured.
So, how does this all stack up chronologically? It's definitely not a random crab bag of magic tricks. It's a precise layering of foundations. Building directly on the brand new foundation of time on day 1, the creation moves right into day 2. We are shifting our focus from the abstract structure of time to something very literal, the physical organization of vertical space. On the second day, we go back to the massive problem of those chaotic waters covering everything. God commands an expanse. You can think of this expanse as a crucial physical ceiling or a giant structural separator. It gets created right in the middle of those raging waters. The blueprint continues. God speaks the command, and a massive physical barrier is introduced to disrupt the endless, formless ocean. And that perfectly executes the second great separation in our narrative. This expanse divides the waters below from the waters above. It's literally pushing the chaos apart to give the universe some breathing room. God then names this new open, habitable space heaven. Just like that, the vertical axis of the cosmos is successfully drafted and installed. Which brings us to day 3, and things are really picking up momentum now. We've got time, and we've got a sky overhead. But the area underneath that sky? It's still completely submerged in the lower waters. The architecture has to pivot again. Now it's time to build the horizontal space, the actual physical stage where life is eventually going to live.
The structural pattern keeps working flawlessly. God commands those lower waters to gather into one single place. By forcing the waters to retreat and be contained, dry land finally emerges out of the deep. Notice that the chaos of the waters isn't destroyed, it's just given strict boundaries. The water is told exactly where it can and cannot be, creating a hard separation between wet and dry.
Following the blueprint right on cue, the crucial naming step happens next. The dry land officially becomes earth, and the contained waters become seas. By doing this, God is bringing ultimate order, clear categorization, and a declared goodness to the physical ground we stand on. At this point, the foundational architecture of the universe is completely sound. Just step back and look at how incredibly logical this is. We all have this deep human need for structure to make sense of a crazy world, right? Well, what started out as a formless, dark void submerged in water is now a beautifully organized, habitable system.
Day 1, organize time. Day 2, organize the sky. And Day 3, organize the land. The blueprint worked perfectly.
So, this entire structural breakdown leaves us with a really fascinating thought to explore. When you look closely at the language in this ancient text, is the profound act of creation fundamentally less about the magic of pulling things out of thin air and significantly more about the purposeful architectural organization of chaos into functional order? It kind of changes how you look at the entire universe around you, doesn't it? Thanks for diving into this explainer with me, and I hope this gives you an entirely new perspective to think about.